You enjoy, and the reason that you enjoy it is because you realize that everything that you did, you won't have. So long, Mayor.
22nd of
Today,
March, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
what are we on for today?
So, but you know what? I keep this the is red though. Where is this word over here? How do you pronounce this word? This Hayikshia.
That's next. We're coming up to that right now.
You didn't read that?
No, we stop before getting to that word. Oh, that's right. Omre, they said.
Omre. Oh, yes, you're right. Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's the next word. Omre Hikiyahu. I'm doing this because it's a heckish. The ain mashim ala heckish, and you don't answer on a heckish.
Yeah, Meshivin here actually means that you don't ask, you can't ask a kasha on a hekish. If there's a hekish between these two parshas, so that the halacha that applies to one parsha will apply to the other one as well. And of course, the fact that they're saying it's a hekish means we have a tradition. Ish mipi ish, ad Moshe Rabbeinu, who got it on Har Sinai, that these two parshas are connected to one another, meaning what are we meaning? These two parshas, there's a hekish between them. That there is a by the fact that the Torah is making, maybe Rashi is going to point this out. Let's now see the Rashi over here. Hekesha hu. That's the Rashi we want to read now.
Okay, that's the one above that. I see it. Hekeshu, that it's a hekish.
Yeah.
The itkadesh, that we make a hekshes between a ganav, a toain, genevis ganav, a thief who makes a claim of being a thief. The smicha that's next to karaya pasuk, ahade, by itself. Im yimatzeh hakana. If the ganav will find the ganav will find it. Hare ganav. He would be a ganav. The im lo use, if he doesn't find it, haganav, kamo sha'amah, that he says elahu atzmo, rather by himself, ganvo, he sold it by himself, hayinu toain tanis ganav, that it would be a claim of a theft of a ganav, the nimtza shehu ganvo, that he did steal it. So there are two passages here talking about this sometimes.
Right. To really appreciate that, we have to go and get a Chumash Shmos. Let's go get a Chumash Shmos, and we should be able to see these. Appreciate what the Rashi's telling us over here. Shmos Chaf Beis, Pasuk Vav and Pasuk Zion. Let's go get a Shmos. Oh.
Shemos what?
Shmos Chaf Beis 22.
Mhm.
Okay.
22 what?
Six.
Pasuk Vav and Pasuk Zion are the
Oh.
ones that we're going to look at.
Thank you.
Okay, so just to translate the words over here, I mean, you could read the translation yourself. Ki yitain ish el re'eu kesef u'kelim lishmor. If one man gives to his fellow kesef or kelim lishmor, to guard it, begunav, and it's stolen, mibeis ha'ish, from the house of the man. Im yamatzeh haganev, if they find the ganev that stole it, yishalim shnayim, ganev will have to pay kefil. That's the first pasuk. Ve'im lo yamatzeh haganev, if they do not find the one that ganved it, v'nikrav balabais Elohim, and then the balabais, who's the shomer, he's called the balabais over here in the pasuk, because I guess he's the house that had the deposited article in it. He will be brought to the judges. Elohim here is not referring to Hashem; it's referring to judges. Im lo yisholach yado b'mitzvos re'eu, to swear that he did not send out his hand against the object of his friend. Okay, so the thing is that Rashi is telling us that the Chazal saw in these two psukim, which seem to be talking only about the case of the depositor and the depositee, the custodian, but the Chazal see also in this pasuk a reference to an outright ganav who steals something from the house where it's found. So with that in mind, let's take a look at this Rashi and see that Rashi's going to quote for us the parts of the pasuk that are referring to the outright ganav and the parts of the pasuk that are referring to the toantanas ganav, the custodian that claims that it was stolen from him. But in fact, he has it in his possession, and he's lying, and he swore to it. So, and the din we're saying is that both of them are going to have the din of kefil, and Rabbi Yochanan has said that both of them have a din of paying 4 and 5 for selling it or shechting it, and the Bnei Yeshiva are answering now that there's a hekesh between these two parshas, meaning the parsha of an outright ganav and the parsha of a toantanas ganav, the custodian that claims that it was stolen from him. And so let's take a look at this Rashi. See how Rashi, because the Gemora doesn't tell us. The Gemora just says, yeah, they said that it's a hekesh, and don't ask any kashas on a hekesh. But one second, let's Rashi's telling us, where was it that Chazal saw that there was a hekesh over here? Says Rashi, Akesha he, the iskish ganav, the toantanas ganav. They're making a hekesh, meaning right, like we said, this is a tradition that was passed down ish b'pi ish until Moshe Rabbeinu, that these two parshas have a halachic connection between them, and that the parsha of an outright ganav has a halachic comparison to a custodian who claims that the object was stolen from him. And what's the basis of the hekesh? Says Rashi, the smiche Kroi ahadode, because the psukim that talk about a ganav are right next to the psukim that talk about a toantanis ganav. That's why there's a hekesh over here. The Torah is alluding to us the fact that there's a hekesh between these two parshas, but the hekesh itself is a tradition, an oral tradition that was passed down. But we see in the psukim, it's very interesting. We see that the psukim are a living the oral tradition because they're right next to one another in the Torah. So Rashi's pointing out. Says Rashi, im himatze haganev. You see those words, im himatze haganev, in your psukim?
Yeah.
Im yimatze haganev. It's the end of pasuk vav. Those three words, says Rashi. He says, Hooray, Ganav. Here you have the parsha of Ganav. You have in other words, the pasuk is talking about the parsha of a Ganav, someone who is an outright Ganav, that he stole this item from the house that it was in. It wasn't given to him to watch. He went and stole this item. So that's where we see the reference, says Rashi, to the parsha of an outright Ganav. Continues Rashi, Im lo yimatze haganev. Now, and then in the next parsha, rather in the next pasuk, it says, in the beginning of pasuk Zayin, it says, Im lo yimatze haganev. If they do not find the outright Ganav, says Rashi, Im lo yimatze haganev, kamosha omar. If they don't find the Ganav, like he said, like who said, like the custodian said, that it was stolen from him. Ella, who atzmo ganvo? He was the one that stole it. Says Rashi, who's that talking about? Hainu toin tanis Ganav. That is the parsha there, which we see that the pasuk is referring to somebody who claimed, after having been given the item to be a custodian over it, said that it was stolen from him. But then we didn't find that it was actually stolen from him, like he said. What did we find? Nimsa shehu ganvo. It came out, it was found on his person himself. He was the one who still has this deposited item in his backyard, because the witnesses came after he claimed it and he swore falsely that it was stolen from him. Witnesses come later and they say, oh no, this item that belongs to the depositor is in the backyard of this custodian right now as we speak. So here you have Rashi showed us the in these two psukim, you've got a reference both to the outright Ganav and also to the toantanis Ganav, and that is the and then the Gemora says, so we have a hekesh between these two parshas, and then the Gemora says the well-known klal that we say ein meshivin ala hekesh. What the Gemora just asked Akasha and say, oh, it doesn't make any sense to say that the toantanis Ganav is also going to have to pay daled behei, because it's a different situation, his situation, than the situation of the outright Ganav. But we say no. When we have a oral tradition that there's a hekesh between these parshas, we say that the halacha is going to be the same for both of them, even though you have this kasha. Okay. And now we go to the next shtickle in the Gemara. Hanicha, Lamanda Omar. Right. This is in my version. It's your second narrow line from the bottom. I mean, no, not from the bottom. Sorry. Again, it's the second to the last narrow line before the lines become wide.
We're
The
on
first word in
106.
the line is al hekesha, and then
We're on
the Gemora says
106.
hanicha.
106b2, the left column, the second paragraph, the Gemara asks.
Okay, and we go to Lu to continue the reading. Hanicha.
You're muted.
Okay, it was 106B2, did you say?
Yeah.
Phil?
The left column, the Gemara asks, one paragraph down.
Gemora asks, Hanicha Leman de Amar Chad Beganav Vahar Bitoain Tanas Ganav Shapir. Okay, so this is satisfactory. According to the one who says that one verse in the passage of the unpaid custodian deals with an actual thief, and one verse deals with a custodian who falsely claims a claim of theft by a thief. According to this opinion, this explanation fits well. For there is indeed a hekesh. Ella lema'an de'amar I im yimatzei haganaf ve'im lo yimatzei. But according to the one who says that the verses, if the thief is found, and if the thief is not found, both deal with a custodian who claims a claim of theft by a thief. My ikad the memar. What is there to say?
Right. In other words, maybe Rashi's going to say it in a minute. My ikad, what is there to say? Because the Gemara is understanding that there would not be a hekesh in such a case, because we don't see the two parshas discussed in these two psukim. We only see one parsha. There's only one parsha of Ton Tanis Ganav, no parsha of outright Ganav. Let's take a look at the Rashi Ela Lamanda Omar, and then the one after that Travayu.
Elamanda Omar, according to what it says, and it's Perak Maruba, and they're talking about where it is, just giving you an idea which Perak it's in, on Daf Samikal earlier on. Travayu Bitoin Tanas Kavan. That in both cases, we're talking about someone who's making a claim against the thief. The Ganav Atzmo, that it's the thief himself. Nafkalam, we learn from it, Me'im, he would say that if you would find it, and then the Bach adds the word, but you don't, if it's found in his hand, that's what the concept of a toin tanaskanav is. It's like he's a showman, he says he didn't have it, and he really was holding it all along. That's what the is. He would say be in his hand. Diksiv is written in it, but Parshat Acher, it's written in another place. Heichi how could it be a hekesh?
Right. Which is very interesting to me. Because In other words, in order for us to maintain that there really was an oral tradition that these two parshas are a hekesh to one another, we got to see in the psukim a reflection of that oral tradition. Meaning to say that there's a smichus, that the both of the parshas are right next to one another in the psukim. This parsha we see in pasuk vav, and this parsha we see in pasuk zayin. There's a smichus. They're close. So that's alluding to the fact that there is a oral tradition that there's a hekesh in these two parshas. But the Gemora is saying, but we have another man Omer though that says that the parsha of Ganav is not at all mentioned in these two psukim, but it's mentioned in a different parsha entirely, says Rashi, and therefore the only parsha that's discussed in these two psukim that we have in front of us here, Vav and Zion, is the parsha of Tanis Ganav. And if so, says Rashi, the Gemora is saying, hey, iskush. How could we say that there's an oral tradition that there is a hekesh between these two parshas? We don't see that in the Torah. Fascinating. I think it's fascinating. I could say, what do you mean that there's an oral tradition? There is an oral tradition. Somebody's going to say, I have the oral tradition. But okay, it's an interesting topic. But that's what the Gemara is saying over here. It only this that we're saying that it's a hekesh only accords with one man de Omar. There's a machlokes in the Gemara in Perek Meruba earlier in the Masechta in Bava Kama that where do we learn this din of Ganav? And according to that man de Omar, there's no mention of Ganav in either of these two psukim. So therefore, that would mean that there's no hekesh. Okay, Yasher Koyach, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Take care, be well.
Have a great day. Chaf Tes Adar, Erev Rosh Chodesh Nisan.
All right. Right. Kodesh Tov to everybody, and be well and happy and
Amen.
healthy.
Amen.
Bye to all. Bye-bye.
A good Erev Chodesh to Alan and to Lou and to Phil and to Robert. Baruch Batzlacha. A good Erev Chodesh to you. All the best.